Imagine this: you're standing at the base of a mountain, staring up at its imposing height. You think to yourself, why can't this mountain be smaller? Why can't it be easier? But what if the mountain isn't the problem? What if you are the one who needs to grow stronger to climb it? When life throws challenges our way, our instinct is often to wish for the world to change. We long for lighter burdens, simpler decisions, and smoother paths. But what if I told you that the very struggles we shy away from are actually the stepping stones to our greatness? Think about it for a moment. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, like the weight of the world was pressing down on your shoulders? Maybe it was a difficult project at work, a tough conversation with a loved one, or a dream that felt so far out of reach it seemed impossible. We've all been there. But here's the truth that no one likes to admit: life doesn't get easier. You have to get better. I recall a friend who faced this reality head on. He lost his job unexpectedly. And like so many of us might, he initially felt paralyzed by fear and frustration. He had two choices: complain about the injustice of it all or take responsibility for his future. He chose the harder path. He started building new skills, networking with new people, and stepping into unfamiliar territories. It wasn't easy, and there were many nights he felt like giving up. But today, he's not just employed, he's thriving in a career he never imagined for himself. Challenges are inevitable. They come to all of us, regardless of where we live, how much money we make, or what kind of life we've built. The question isn't whether challenges will appear. The question is, how will you respond to them? Will you wish for an easier road, or will you rise to meet the demands of the journey? Growth isn't comfortable. And comfort? It doesn't lead to growth. Every hardship you face is a test, a chance to evolve into something greater. You're not being punished by the difficulties you encounter. You're being prepared for the opportunities ahead. Think about that for a moment. Every challenge you face is shaping you into the person you need to become to achieve your dreams. Consider athletes for a moment. Do they ask for lighter weights or weaker opponents? Of course not. They push harder, train longer, and endure more pain because they understand that the pain is temporary, but the growth is permanent. What's the alternative? Wishing life were easier. But what does that do for you? It breeds resentment and frustration. It leads to stagnation. Worst of all, it leads to regret. Picture yourself years from now looking back on your life. Imagine realizing you could have been more, done more, become more. That regret is far more painful than any temporary struggle you're facing right now. So, what do you do instead? You embrace the challenges. When problems arise, don't ask, why me? Instead, ask, what can I learn? Shift your perspective. Every challenge is an opportunity in disguise, waiting for you to uncover its lesson. Seek growth. Commit to learning. Invest in yourself through books, courses, and mentors. Knowledge isn't just power, it's the ladder you use to climb life's mountains. And perhaps most importantly, get comfortable with discomfort. Growth only happens outside your comfort zone. Every time you step into the unfamiliar, every time you push through the resistance, you expand what's possible for yourself. Think about this: diamonds are created under pressure. Without that intense heat and pressure, they'd remain lumps of coal. The same is true for us. Without the challenges, without the struggle, we'd remain stuck, never realizing the brilliance we're capable of achieving. Now, let's fast forward. A year from now, 5 years from now, even 10 years into the future, imagine looking back at the person you are today. Would your future self be grateful for the choices you're making right now? Every decision, every action you take today is shaping the person you'll become tomorrow. I'm reminded of a story of a young woman who decided to run a marathon. When she first started training, she could barely jog a mile without gasping for breath. But every day she showed up. She ran a little farther, pushed herself a little harder, and fought through the pain. On the day of the marathon, as she crossed the finish line, tears streaming down her face, she didn't just celebrate running 26.2 miles. She celebrated the transformation that had taken place within her. The pain, the setbacks, the doubts, all of it had shaped her into someone she was proud to be. So I'll ask you this: what's your mountain? What's standing in your way right now? Don't wish it were smaller. Don't wish it were easier. Wish to be stronger, more skilled, more resilient. Wish to be the kind of person who can conquer that mountain and stand at the top. Proud of the journey it took to get there. Transformation doesn't happen by wishing for an easier life. It happens when you strive for a better you. That's where the magic lies. That's when you step into your true potential.